I never thought a single evening could turn my entire life upside down, but tonight proved me wrong. It started like any other Friday. My wife, Lila, had been unusually quiet all day, scrolling through her phone with that peculiar smile she reserved for no one but herself. I asked her what was wrong, and she just shrugged, whispering, "Nothing, just getting ready for tonight." I should have sensed it then, the undercurrent of tension I had ignored too many times before. But perhaps my love for her made me blind. She emerged from our bedroom wearing a dress I had never seen her choose before, tight, shimmering, a bright red that screamed attention. I froze for a moment, my heart thumping in a strange mix of admiration and fear. "Lila," I began, but she cut me off, twirling in front of the mirror. "Do you like it?" she asked, her eyes gleaming. But there was something in her tone, a teasing undertone, almost like she was daring me. I looked at her, trying to mask the suspicion creeping in. "Leave in that dress," I said finally, my voice calm but my mind racing. The words hung in the air heavier than I intended. She froze, her smile faltering for just a fraction of a second, and then she laughed, lightly at first, and then with an edge that cut through me. "Excuse me," she said, tilting her head, as though she hadn't heard me correctly. "I said leave in that dress," I repeated, taking a step closer. "Tonight, if you go out like that, I want you gone. Not just for the evening, I want you to think about everything you've done. Everything we've been through, and yet," I let the words trail, letting the silence emphasize my growing pain. She laughed, a sharp, brittle sound that I didn't recognize. "Are you serious?" she said, finally dropping the playful act. "You think you can control me with threats?" Her eyes burned with defiance, and suddenly I realized how little of her I truly knew anymore. "I'm not controlling you," I said quietly, though my voice shook. "I'm telling you the truth. I see what you're doing, and I'm done pretending it doesn't hurt. Every flirtatious text, every secretive call, every late night you've lied about, it ends tonight. I've had enough, Lila. Enough of the lies, enough of the games." She stepped back, placing her hands on her hips, her body radiating arrogance. "So this is it," she said, smirking. "One look, one comment, and our perfect little marriage shatters?" "It's not one comment," I said, feeling a strange calm wash over me. "It's years of betrayal I can no longer ignore. And tonight is your choice." Her laughter echoed through the room, hollow and mocking. "You think I'll leave because of some dramatic speech? Oh darling, you've always underestimated me." Her eyes glinted with mischief, but underneath, I saw a flicker of fear. "Then stay," I said simply, my heart heavy but resolute. "Stay and continue the charade. But know this, I won't pretend anymore. I won't pretend that I don't see the way your eyes light up for someone else, that I don't feel the cold distance that's grown between us. Tonight is the end, one way or another." She tilted her head, studying me as if trying to decode some hidden threat. "You're serious," she said finally, a whisper barely audible. "Dead serious," I said. And then I did something I never thought I could. I turned away, giving her the power to walk out the door, or stay and face the consequences of her choices. The next hour was torture. I could hear her moving around the bedroom, the soft swish of the dress, her occasional laughter, and the sharp ding of a notification on her phone. My chest ached with every sound, but I refused to look. I refused to beg. Finally, she came out, her eyes blazing, her smile gone. "You're impossible," she said, almost venomously. "You'll regret this." "I doubt it," I said, my voice firm. "Because for the first time in years, I'm choosing myself." And then she left. I waited, sitting in the quiet of the living room, listening to the faint sound of her heels fading down the street. Hours passed. No calls, no messages. I felt a strange mixture of relief and emptiness. Relief that I had reclaimed my dignity, emptiness because the person I loved most in the world had turned out to be a stranger. Later, my phone buzzed. A single message, one that I will never forget, a photo. Her in that dress, leaning into the arms of a man I didn't know but immediately recognized from the photos on her social media, someone she had been spending time with behind my back. My heart stopped. The betrayal, the deception, the years of pretending, it all came crashing down. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours, the rage and heartbreak mingling into a cold clarity. I didn't respond. I didn't call. I simply deleted the message, knowing that my life, from this moment forward, belonged only to me. By the time she returned, hours later, stumbling through the door with a mixture of anger and fear in her eyes, I was ready. She expected confrontation, tears, pleading, but I gave her none of it. I told you to leave, I said, calm and unwavering. And you did. Now, this marriage is over. Don't come back. She faltered, her bravado slipping, and for the first time, I saw the woman I thought I knew, the frightened, desperate woman behind the lies. Please, she whispered, but it sounded hollow, empty, meaningless. I shook my head. It's too late. You made your choice. Now live with it. She dropped her eyes, silent, defeated, and I knew then that nothing could ever go back to the way it was. Not after tonight. Not after the dress. Not after the betrayal. I walked away from the life I had built, from the love I had poured into her, and I finally felt free. Free from lies, free from deception, free from the suffocating weight of a marriage that had only existed in appearance. Tonight, the dress was the symbol of everything that had been hidden, everything that had been denied. And as I closed the door behind her, I whispered to myself, a bitter, victorious truth: some betrayals demand a choice. Tonight, I chose me. And that choice shattered everything.